we go. Hello, everyone. I'm John Higgins, contributing writer to Film and TV Now and .com, and I'm delighted to welcome one and all to this interview special with Pavla Klimesova, who's one of the producing team behind the new hard-hitting documentary Caught in the Net, which is released on digital download platforms from February the 7th. The film uses 3 adult actresses who are made up to look 12 years old and placed in stages looking like a child's bedroom to lure sexual predators into the room. Backed up by criminal lawyers, psychologists, and sexologists, the film also explores the effect on the actresses in question, as well as some of what they deal with, as well as the impact of online abuse of children. Pavla, a warm welcome to you. Thank you very much for doing this. I want to talk a little bit, because this is an incredibly dark and shocking documentary, even in the responsible way it was done. I mean, how did you become involved with the project?
So what happened at the beginning was that one of the internet providers here in Czech Republic, they actually co-fined this research at one university, and they looked at the numbers that you can see at the beginning of the film, like how many children would be willing to meet with a person in real life that they meet online, or how many kids actually had that to happen to them, that somebody was abusing them online. And they were absolutely shocked that it's such a high number. And they decided we want to do something about it. And they called Vít Krusák, he's one of the most famous Czech documentary filmmakers, and they asked him, would you be willing to do a 10-minute viral video that would go online, and everybody would see it and everybody would start talking about this social issue? And he said, okay, I will look into it. And he asked Bára Chalupová, the other director, to join him, because she's like this semi-hacker, and she's much closer age-wise to the group of kids that it's actually happening. And they made a research of their own. They created a profile on this local community chat server, and they just put some Disney photos on the profile of the girl. They said, I like Disney movies, or they said that I'm a ballerina, and they put some photos that they borrowed from friends. And it was actually photos of real 12-year-old girl. And in one group, they just wrote, I'm bored. And they expected that maybe in a week, 5-6 people will come to them and they will see what's going to happen next. They closed the computer and they opened it in 5 hours, and they were absolutely shocked, because in these 5 hours they were contacted by 86 different profiles that most of them wanted sexual involved with this girl. They wanted her to send nudes, or they wanted to talk about sex with her. And some just asked, like, what kind of pets do you have? And after a couple of questions, they went to sex as well. And when they saw this, they were absolutely shocked, and they said, this is not a material for a 10-minute viral video. We actually have to do an independent film that will be co-produced with a public television and public funds, and that will go to the cinema, and that will be distributed everywhere, because everybody has to know about it. And we actually succeeded, because we did a crowdfunding campaign, and even though we only showed 4 minutes at that time, the whole social debate started, and everybody was talking about it here in Czech Republic. And the aim that we had to open up the so broad social debate was fulfilled. But still, it wasn't very nice process making the film.
Okay. Well, I mean, it's a very responsible film. I mean, you had a legal team. I mean, there's criminal lawyers, there's a sexologist. I mean, how much preparation did you all have? Because obviously, I mean, I watched, there's scenes in the film that I think, this is a shocking movie. And I think also it's not suitable for anybody. I mean, some of the stuff that is witnessed that you see, but we see it in a pixelated version, but it shocked me nonetheless. I mean, how did you cope with it? I mean, was it obviously something that, because obviously doing something like this, because we see the effect of the actresses. I mean, how prepared were you?
From the time we was asked by the internet provider till we started shooting, it actually took 1 year for the preparations, and they were very thoughtful. They're like very wide. We chose the actresses on the casting, and they had special preparation that they actually had a chance to try the chatting and Skyping before they signed the contract, before they actually decided that they want to be part of the project, because we wanted to give them a chance to actually be able to like back out in case they wouldn't they would know that they would couldn't bear it. And the whole team, we talked to a lot of psychologists and sexologists, and we actually had some anonymized conversation from the I can hear myself now,
Hmm.
not anymore.
Um,
And we
okay.
had we had these conversation from the research team that were anonymized, so we could see how the predators talk. So we were actually quite prepared for it, but nothing can actually prepare you for this, because when you see it live and when it's happening to in front of your eyes. I have to admit that even though I was 30 at the time when it was shot, and I'm quite, I thought that I'm prepared for this kind of situation. I wasn't. I was absolutely shocked. And the whole team, we kind of thought that we lost the faith in mankind when we saw what's happening, because it was absolutely disgusting. Some of the stuff is still, I don't understand how people can do that to children.
Hmm. So let's talk a bit about the actresses, because obviously they willing were part of it. I mean, how are they doing now? And have you continued to support and help them since completion of the film?
Yeah, it's been 3 years since we shot the film, and right after we shot it, we offered them therapy help, and two of them actually used it because they said that they wanted to talk about the things they went through with somebody, and one of them, she kept having nightmares that someone is calling her on Skype and she couldn't pause the ringtone, and the other one just wanted to talk through what the guys did to these character, but they said that they were coping quite okay, because they knew that it's actually not happening to them, that it's happening to the character, not to them personally. And also when it was the whole team there on the shooting or on the dates, that we actually had the real ones, it was I think good for them that it was the whole team who was going through it. I think the hardest part was between the studio and the real dates, when they were chatting with the men on their own at their real homes, because at that time they were on their own on it, and they say that that was quite complicated. We are in contact with them quite regularly all the time, and they are okay now, and they always say that even though they carry some scars on their minds from this project, they carry it with pride, because they say that if this can help to several kids, it was definitely worth it.
Okay, so there are two versions of the film. I mean, there's the full version which I saw, which is the one I think is the very explicit one. But you've also got a schools out version which runs at about 63 minutes, which is aimed for the age generation. I mean, what are the key differences in the edits, and what has been the reaction of children to this version?
Throughout the production of the film, we were only aiming for the version that is 15 plus, for the adults, teachers, parents. And at one point, we were thinking, oh, we are making a film of about kids that are 12 or 13, but they will never be able to see it. And to have a great outreach tool, it would be nice for us to make a version that would be suitable for the kids. And I talked to the director Vít Klusák about it, and he said, but we didn't shoot it that way, we can't just like cut down, because that wouldn't make sense. So we came up with the idea that we actually shot uh, the girls when they talk straight, looking straight to the camera, saying their advices, meaning that they say, in this scene, you could see that when I sent my nude photo to someone, they started blackmailing me. Never send a nude photo of you to anyone, even to people that you know, because you never know how can they use it against you. Or be careful who you tell your address, home address, because now they can seem like a friend, but maybe later on they can blackmail you somehow about it. Or other things like don't tell your login information and stuff like that. And it works very well. The kids really like it because the girls, they really look like they are 12 or 13, and the kids accept these advices from the girls much better because they see that they actually went through something similar. So they kind of feel that they know what they are talking about, and they are much it's much more natural for them to hear it from someone who knows this environment. Because if there is a teacher who is 50 and looks like that they don't even have Instagram or TikTok, then the kids don't really know if they should believe them. But if it's someone like that, then it works well. We were discussing it a lot with the sexologists and psychologists because there we didn't want any explicit scenes there, but uh, still, when you talk about it there, you don't show it, but you talk about it. But we came up with the balanced version where the kids understand what's going on, but it's not harming them in any way.
Okay, so we're just going to wrap up. I just wanted to ask you about the education campaign, which has partners like Avast with the Be Safe Online and CZNIC. I mean, what are your immediate and long-term plans for this particular campaign?
For us, it's very important to talk to actually four different target groups. One are teachers, and we tell them, talk about it with your kids. It's very important because sometimes you can be the one who they go to talk to when they have a problem, because maybe it's a problem for them to talk to their parents. So open it at school, tell them that they can always come. Then we aim for the children, where we show them like the basic rules, how to behave online, and we don't want to scare them. So we say, internet can be a great place where you can find great people, find good podcasts and see films, but you just have to behave a certain way so you don't get harmed. Then parents, we tell them that to forbid internet or some platforms is not the way how to deal with the kids, but you have to communicate with them and be their friend. Be interested what they do online, because when something bad happens to them online and they know that you are their partner to talk about it, they will actually go to you and you can help them to help with the situation. And also the fourth one, and it's sometimes that bit controversial, are the predators. And we aim for them. Maybe I'm a predator, and because we know that maybe some people who see the film, they realize that they're actually doing this and that it's wrong. And we wanted here in Czech Republic to give them a helping hand, and we established this call helpline where they can call and talk and get help if they realize that they actually do something wrong. So, and I think that's important as well to cover the whole scale for the prevention of this problem.
Okay, and finally, one question for you, obviously, is what are you most proud of about this film, which I think is very important. I think it's significant at a time when we are worried about the plight of children in various contexts in the world. What are you most proud of?
I'm most proud of that the film is done the way that people actually, in a weird way, enjoy watching it. That we actually were able to put some humorous moments in there, so it's not just a terrible experience. And I think that one of the proofs is that it was seen by 5,053 553,000 people here in Czech Republic, and that's for a documentary, like a historical number, the most watched documentary ever. And I'm very happy that it was distributed in other parts of the world, so we can actually spread the message. It was distributed in Japan, South Korea. Now, it's being distributed in UK, and I'm really happy about this because that was our aim, and I think we succeeded.
Yeah, well, I'm very impressed with the film. I mean, it had an impact on me. I mean, it certainly was enlightening and education. Thank you so much, Pavla, for your time and insights today. As mentioned, Caught in the Net is a crucial and important documentary. It's not an easy watch, so be warned. Try and look out for the Schools Out version if you can. It's released on digital platforms on February the 7th. For more on the education campaign, which is mentioned, you can go to vsiti.film.cz, where you can find more information. Support independent films and filmmakers, the cinemas as they continue to open, as the communal experience is unmatched if you get a chance. And for more articles and interviews and reviews like this one, please go to filmandtvnow.com. And we thank you all again. Thank you very much.
Thank you for having me. Bye bye.